Hello friend, today I'm going to share why sometimes being green isn't green.
And I'm going to share my current favorite health podcasts. Let's get to it.
I am going to be talking about a documentary project. I'm going to say documentary project and not documentary because it is not done yet. It is called Sal y Cielo, which in Spanish means salt and sky. This documentary is in production, as I said, and it is being directed by Taylor Frisolo Reese, who is a filmmaker, a photojournalist, and she has a master's degree in environmental management. She's an avid explorer of stories and landscapes, natural resource issues, and above all else, the human heart, which you can really tell by this project. With this, she is asking, are our solutions for sustainability really good for the planet? Or are they instead conveniences that are sustainable for us at the expense of vulnerable communities, the environment, and our future? These are really big questions. And so there's about 6 minutes or so far that's done. So I would call it almost a teaser. It's not quite a trailer, but it's like the beginnings of this documentary. So powerful. So she is really starting to bring this awareness of what is going on. And this particular project, Sal y Cielo, started out in the fall of 2018. She was contracted by a PhD student and one of the members of the Center for Interdisciplinary Environmental Justice. And they asked, would you be open to filming these presentations of these indigenous activists from Chile and Argentina who were talking about how lithium mining in their territories was depleting water resources and destroying the ecosystems and in turn their ways of life. She met them and then they invited her to come down to South America to create this documentary, which would then be a campaign surrounding all of these efforts. Whoa, the big thing that I learned from watching this, and this was just a few minutes, it had to do with these green solutions, such as proposing decreasing the amount of energy used by burning fossil fuels, by replacing them with more batteries. And by watching this, you see the huge impact that it has on these communities, what it is doing to them. It is heart-wrenching. It is eye-opening. Sal y Cielo.
Whoa, this is great. You know, I've touched a little bit on that. You know, I've always had this feeling, because I try to be as green as possible, but I'm always like, is these certain things that I believe to be green actually green?
Right.
And I kind of went in depth on it on the electric car, which turned out to be true, but it did take time. It didn't take much time, and that's why it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Although there is this battery issue still of these cars. They're rare minerals, if I'm not mistaken, and also once they do go, what are we going to do with all of them?
Right.
And if every car is electric, I mean, we're talking about exponentially a massive amount. So even that, which one I feel pretty good about, I have questions about. It's just, it's never, nothing is black and white. Nothing is, or black and green, or whatever you want to call it. You know, there's so much gray area. There's so many other factors. And so I can't wait to watch this.
Yes.
I will be.
You will love it. Watch it tonight.
Super interested. Yeah. I'll definitely check out the little snippet. And then, is there any kind of, when the full film might be?
I don't know.
Happening?
Maybe you can help me.
It's really hard to say because it depends if they're still shooting, editing. You know, usually documentaries are hundreds of hours of footage, and that can take forever. So it could be. Hopefully, it's not too long because we need to know about this.
Well, and it's hard to say if she started shooting it and then because of COVID had to leave and maybe she'll pick it back up. That's a possibility. But fortunately, there's still enough, and I swear those 6-8 minutes, whatever it is powerful enough that it could be turned into something bigger.
Wow, I can't wait. I'll check it out for sure.
Yes.
I really want to see it. I'm going to be talking about a podcast, and this podcast is called Lifespan with Dr. David Sinclair. Now, why do I keep talking about health span? Because that's what lifespan, even though it's called lifespan, it's really about health span. You know, and again, just in case you haven't heard before, that is living longer, but living longer healthier. So you're still being able to do things for a longer period of time. And I talked about David Sinclair Sinclair's book lifespan. So he has a book in episode 197. He's the professor of genetics and co-director of Harvard Medical Schools for the Paul F. Glenn Center of Biology of Aging Research. So he's one of the leaders in longevity and health span. So I feel really confident. Whatever he talks about, I usually feel like it's good, well-researched information, and he's not doing it just trying to sell something, and that's really rare and important. And I hope I'm right here. And I also feel confident because a lot of the other people in the health world that I respect also say that he's legit, basically, that he passed the test. So this isn't a Dr. Oz or somebody else like that, where you're like, yeah, who knows if any of this is true. I just feel really confident about it. Now, this podcast expands on the book. So the book is just 2 years old, but in the health span and health field, that's almost ancient at this time. So he has the podcast. He also has the podcast on YouTube, so you can just see him talking with the person that also helped him write the book. But they're nothing fancy. But if you like video instead, that's a good way to go about it. There's going to be 8 episodes in the first season, and so far it's a science behind why we age, what to eat and when to eat for longevity, exercise, heat, cold, and other stressors for longevity. MNN, NR, or resveratrol, metformin, other molecules for longevity, so many more. 7 are out right now. By the time this podcast is out, probably all 8 episodes will be out, but definitely check out the David Sinclair podcast.
Ooh, I'm really interested in learning more about the science of aging and all the other stuff. Yeah.
He does a really good job. This is also hard to do, of really talking about pretty scientific terms and studies, but he does it in a pretty good way where most people, I think, can get it.
Awesome.
Now, I have read a lot of books, his book included, so I might be a little bit more, up to speed than some people, so it might seem really easy for me because all these words are finally starting to sound familiar. But I think that by listening to this podcast, I think it'll work for most people. He really breaks it down into simple terms and what you can do in actionable steps. Like, this is the cause, this is the effect, and this is what you can do to reverse aging. He has bold ideas on aging for sure. So it's just worth a listen. I think.
And I love it. It's 8 episodes. I can do that.
Yeah, only 8 episodes. They are about an hour each. Ooh. So, it's long and a lot of information. And I've listened to now probably half of them, and even the ones I've listened to, I want to listen to again because they are pretty deep. I mean, an hour of scientific information, even that I can follow, it's like, oh, I need it. I want it. Now I listen to it all the way through. Now I want to take notes and take actionable steps and listen to it again. So yeah, it's not super, super quick, but it's good.
Awesome.
It's really good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So if you want more information about that or anything else we're talking about on this episode, you can go to 10bestest.com/girls, 10bestest.com/girls. Thank you for joining us, friend. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Let us know in the comments, did you ever imagine how being green could actually be deadly?
And let us know, what podcasts are you enjoying right now?
If you're enjoying the show, please give us a like and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another fantastic show.
And don't forget to stay curious.